Hey guys, it's Lefty from 643 Productions coming at you here with another gameplay commentary, and I know it may be a tough topic for some people to get their head around. I am going to be talking in this video about what has come to be known as the Batman shootings in Aurora, Colorado. So get ready to leave a rating on this video, and get ready, in all honesty, to use your brains and listen to what I have to say. And this video starts right now. I want to preface this video by saying that I believe that what happened in Aurora, Colorado at that packed house premiere for The Dark Knight Rises was a tragedy. It was the very definition of a tragedy. When James Egan Holmes walked in with two Glock 40 pistols, a Remington 870 shotgun, and an AR-15 loaded to the gills with ammunition, shooting dozens of people, leaving 12 dead on the scene and dozens more in serious and critical conditions around area hospitals, that's a tragedy. That is what we deem a tragedy. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And my heart goes out to those family members of those dead, of those wounded, of those people that are fighting for their lives. I believe I've been in a situation, I choose not to dwell on it and try to throw myself a pity party, but I was in a situation where I was listed in the media as fighting for my life, and I've been talking to my family, and I have an idea of what it's like, and I know firsthand that it is tough for people to go through. It is tough for family, for the victims that are still alive, and for the families of deceased victims of this tragedy. And I know it is a tough time. I cannot and do not profess to know their specific situation, because indeed every single one is dynamic to them. They knew probably those people the best, and thusly they are the only ones that can truly grasp the seriousness of what has been taken from them, and what they sadly will, in some cases, will never get to see again. And it was indeed a very, very sad thing that happened. But here's the thing, and again, I don't want to belittle what happened to these people. And I don't mean to belittle, again, what happened and what these families are going through, because I know this is a tough subject still for people to this day to grasp, but like what happened with September 11th, the attacks on the World Trade Centers in New York City, even though I was in high school, even to this day, I viewed certain aspects of that issue, of that whole thing, as separate entities. One being the things that were derived from that instance, from that tragedy, which things like the war in Iraq, the wars in Afghanistan, and the things like the Patriot Act, and so on and so forth. Things like that, I believed, were completely separate. And while I may disagree with some of those things and think they're wrong and bad and blah, 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 I separated those things from feeling remorse and sorrow and wishing well for the victims and the families of victims, because I believe they were two separate entities. Because, I mean, yes, there were all those things born out of September 11th, but also there were real people that were hurt. And regardless of what I believe globally, in a global sense, about things like the Iraq War, the wars in Afghanistan, the Patriot Act, etc., those people were still hurt. And that there's something to say to that. And so, like this, I believe, again, the victims and the victims' families are separate from what is happening outside of this issue as a result of this incident. And that is what I want to speak on, the result of the incident. And I've seen, even in this community, people I've followed on Twitter, one big thing I've seen is that a lot of people have been advocating that this criminal, again, he's not an alleged suspect, he's not an alleged criminal, he's the murderer, he's the criminal, he did it, James Egan Holmes, we all know it, he knows it. Well, maybe he doesn't if he's psychotic enough, but this guy's the criminal. Get that alleged stuff out of here. Kiss my ass with that, rubbing the news agencies rubbing ass of some murderer. Okay, the guy did it, okay? He's the criminal, he's the murderer. And even though he is a murderer, James Egan Holmes, I have seen people on Twitter arguing that he is not entitled to a due process of law. He is not entitled to have his defense heard by a jury of his peers before a judge. He is not entitled to any of that. They do not pass go, do not collect $200, go straight to execution or to jail. Again, there's moral arguments to be made for and against capital punishment. I can do plenty of videos on stuff like that, but I'm going to save it until I get to like 50, 100,000 subscribers, stuff like that, when it'll really make an impact. But hey, like and favorite. That's how this stuff kind of happens, kids. I'm just kidding. But even though I've seen all these people arguing that, and I have to raise my hand and I say, hold on. Yes, James Egan Holmes is a murderer. He is a criminal. He is a cretin. He's probably psychotic too, but that's not meant to be a defense. That's just, he's probably psychotic. You got to be at least a little bit psychotic to do that kind of shit. And while he is all those things, and while he is guilty, without a shadow of a doubt, he's still an American citizen. He is still entitled under our Constitution to a due process of law and to a trial by a jury of his peers. He is entitled to all those things. And I advise strongly everybody to try to stop everybody else from trying to throw those things out, because once you do that, once you start throwing out those rights for ease of process, to spare yourself and to spare the community of having to live through these atrocities again, once you start doing that, those rights never come back. They never come back. They're always able to be thrown out. And yes, again, he is the perpetrator of this atrocity. He is a criminal. He is a murderer. But he is still a United States citizen. He is entitled to the rights granted to him under the Constitution of this country. And one more thing before we get out of here. And again, likes, favorites, and comments do help it out. Go ahead, hover over that like button, leave a rating, engaging comments in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. The other thing about gun control, and again, I could do, political commentaries all day about gun control. Here's the thing, and I'll leave you guys with this. Think about this for a little bit. Everybody's all up in arms. Oh, my God, we got to outlaw guns now. Outlaw guns. Make sure nobody in this country can have a gun ever. Two real thought processes for you, thought experiments. Number one, did prohibition of alcohol work? Did it work as it was intended? Or did it give rise to the seedy underbelly that was organized crime and alcohol running and things of that nature? And number two, think about this. Again, everybody's all up in arms about, oh, we've got to outlaw guns because he had all these guns. You shouldn't have had all these guns, and he used these guns to kill people, and that's bad. Think about it this way, especially in this should hit home. If you are a right-thinking individual, this should hit home for you. Imagine what would happen if when they finally defuse all the booby traps in his apartments and they get in there and start searching around, what if they find first-person shooter video games? What if they find every Call of Duty ever made? What if they find on his PC he's got Battlefield 3, Red Orchestra 2, Counter-Strike? What happens then? What do you think the outrage would be then? Remember? It's happened before. It happened with Counter-Strike and Columbine. The Columbine shooters played Counter-Strike. It happened in one of the Virginia Tech shootings. Call of Duty 4. It was a huge game played by the guy that perpetrated those shootings. What do you think the outrage would be then? And where would you lie on the fence? Or on what side of the argument would you lie during that argument? Let's assume that once they get into his apartment, they find Call of Duty. They find all these first-person shooter video games. Where are you going to be then? And what are you going to say? But anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. Remember, likes, favorites, comments, and shares via Facebook and Twitter do help me out. And again, engage me in the comments. Go ahead. This is a topic. It is meant to be thought-provoking, and I hope I did my job. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'm out.